Hello and welcome. Today we are going to deal with emergence of nationalism in India. What's nationalism? In simple terms, nationalism is creating a sense of pride for one's own country. I have divided this chapter into two parts so that you don't have to remember too many names and too many dates at a particular time. Now, if you have not already subscribed to this channel, do that and hit the bell icon so you don't miss my future classes. Let's get into this class. Let's look at the background of the Europeans coming to India. Europeans entered India as traders, but slowly the Britishers started to take interest in the political affairs of the country. British traders formed the East India Company in 1600 and annexed kingdoms. They captured them and they won battles such as Battle of Plassey in 1757 and Battle of Boxer in 1764. Now the Battle of Boxer gave them the right to collect Diwani. Diwani gave right to the Britishers to collect revenue in the form of taxes from the provinces of Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. Now over a period of time, there was a lot of economic exploitation, supremacy of power, religious interference. So finally in 1857, there was a revolt against the company rule. And this revolt was called as First War of Independence. Formation of Indian National Congress, which was formally established on 20th December 1885 in Bombay. The first president of the party was Womesh Chandra Banerjee, popularly known as W.C. Banerjee. The Indian secretary was a Goan by the name K.T. Telang. The key role in this party was played by Allan Octavian Hume. The phases for the freedom movement was divided into three phases. The first phase was from 1885 to 1905, which was called as Era of Moderates. Second was from 1905 to 1920, which was called as Era of Extremists. And the third was from 1920 to 1947, which was called as Gandhian Era. Let's look at the Era of Moderates. This was the period when leaders of the party such as W.C. Banerjee, Surendranath Banerjee, Justice Ranade, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Firoz Shah Mehta, Pandit Motilal Nehru and others adopted constitutional and peaceful methods to put forth their demands in front of the Britishers, including that of Swaraj. Let's learn a little bit more about it. This period was also called as Era of Petition Politics. The leaders started to demand through memorandum, writ petition and appeals. Vinayak Damodar Savarkar founded Abhinav Bharat to guide the revolutionaries. The methods they used were ineffective, so the demands were not met by the British government. In fact, Lord Curzon partitioned Bengal in 1905. The intention was to divide and rule, that is to separate Hindus and Muslims. In 1907, the Indian National Congress split at Surat session, and this led to the second stage, which is Era of Extremists. Era of Extremists. Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Bipin Chandra Pal, they were popularly called as Lal Bal Pal. They used a medium of Swadeshi and boycott as their powerful weapon to fight against the British. Tilak started public celebrations of Shivaji festival, Ganesh festival, so that the people could come together. In the field of education, national education was started so that the seeds of nationalism, that means creating pride for its own country, could be started. There were many newspapers which were started. Maratha and Kesari by Tilak, New India by Bipin Chandra Pal and Bande Mataram by Aurobindo Ghosh. In 1906, Muslim League was formed. With all this happening, British also introduced Mole Minto reform. What did that do? In 1909, they increased the number of seats in the legislature, provided separate electorates for the Muslims. In 1919, on April 13th, there was Jallianwala Bagh massacre in Amritsar. What happened in Jallianwala Bagh? Now, thousands of people had gathered together to have a peaceful protest. But General Dyer and his men opened fire without any warning on all these people. Hundreds of people were killed and many were crushed in the stampede. Now this was a very bad incident. Soon after that, on 1st August in 1920, Tilak passed away. And this marked the end of the era of the extremist. There's one slogan which Tilak gave us still lingers in our head. Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. No wonder Mahatma Gandhi called him maker of modern India. Now this brings us to the third era, the Gandhian era. Now I want to begin the explanation of Gandhian era with a quote which he believed in and which he lived by. Be the change you want to see in the world. Gandhian era. He introduced the concept of satyagraha, non-violence and non-cooperation for Indian freedom struggle. Now let's talk about Khilafat non-cooperation movement. Muslims in India formed a Khilafat committee to protest against the British government in India. The prominent or the main leaders were Maulana Muhammad Ali, Maulana Shaukat Ali, Harshad Mohani and Hakim Ajmal Khan. This committee accepted Gandhian proposal of non-violence and non-cooperation. This was called as Khilafat non-cooperation movement. Let's look at its features. The features of Khilafat non-cooperation movement are as follows. Not to cooperate with the British in the functioning of the government. To boycott government courts, foreign goods, and elections to the provisional legislature. To prohibit the drinking of liquor. In accordance to the non-cooperation movement, lawyers boycotted government courts. Students boycotted schools and colleges. Subhash Chandra Bose resigned from the Indian civil service. And there were bonfires, that means burning foreign clothes all around the place. So that's it for today. See you in part 2. Take care. Thank you very much.